Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Let's see here, I'm just going to make a couple of adjustments to my screen. I've been asked to do a few videos about how to use Word, and so I thought, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and just dive right in. So, I've gone ahead and opened Word. Generally speaking, now you do have to have a Microsoft or Office 365 account. They do have some good bargains for that. I actually have a family plan and I share it with, of course, my husband. And I have my cousin who's also on my account since she lives in another city and she is a medical assistant and sometimes need to use it. So you can use Word online or off. Once you have your account set up, you can pay monthly or yearly. If you are a student, you also get a discount. But first, let's look at the downloaded version. So once you have it open, you can just go here to New Document, or you can open it. We're not going to look at some of the fancier features right now. We are just going to look strictly at how to use plain old Word. And yes, you will hear my child in the background. Now, I do have my view stuff just in general set up a little bit bigger, since at times I tend to have vision problems because of inflammation in my eyes. I'm going to pull my screen up a little bit. So, if you want things to auto-save, the first thing you're going to need to do is save it out to OneDrive. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So for now, I'm just going to write something like test. I tend to want to have something written down to get started before I autosave. It's up to you whether or not you want to do that. So go to Save As, go to your OneDrive, and I'm going to create a new folder that I'm just going to call YouTube Word Videos, since I'm going to end up doing more than one. And then there it is. And we're going to call this YouTube Video 1. Save. Like I said, you don't even really need language there. Now, otherwise, if you don't do that, then you're going to have to save your document on your own. Now, as I write, it's going to save for me automatically. Now, just a quick note, if you're watching this and you have more experience creating and handling documents than someone else, Adobe Acrobat, as you see right here, unless you have a paid account, these are not going to work, okay? I'm actually not going to showcase any of this. And I'm not going to showcase Grammarly, because unless you have a paid Grammarly account, Grammarly is not going to work for you either. So, what this series is really going to be about overall is how to use a lot of the basics and how to use some of the references and how to do some of the review features. So, just so that everyone has a good idea of what I'm doing. But there is one fancier feature I do have turned on in Word that I want to show you guys real quick, because you're going to notice it when I start typing sentences. I do have the text predictions turned on because I have found as a writer, it's been very helpful for me. So if you're new to my channel, and you probably are, I only have 30-something subscribers at the day I'm creating this, which is March 26, 2022. My name is Robin Bull. I am a professional writer. You can find me on Upwork. You can just, short link is bit.ly/hirerobin. The H is capitalized, the R is capitalized. And you can also find my blog, which is not a professional blog, by the way, if you're looking for a writer to hire. If you are a freelancer just kind of looking to grow your business, or you're thinking about working from home, I write about stuff like that there. It's confessionsfromthecouch.com. One more side note, I'm writing this on a Saturday. My special needs son is home with me. So you're probably going to hear him in the background. It's likely you might hear a dog sneeze or something like that. I do create videos that are very real as far as the work from home aspect is concerned, so you won't have a lot of edits to this video. So just kind of a heads up about that. I'm not really into overly edited videos and things like that because number one, I wouldn't know how to do it if I tried, and number two, I think it really does take away from the true work from home aspect, and I think that leads to a lot of the romanticizing and glamorizing of work from home, and then when people get started into it, they're like, why isn't my life as perfect as what I see on social media? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So I don't really have any text prepared, as you can see. So obviously when you're writing you would have some text, so I probably should have prepared something. I don't really want to use any of my clients' text, so let's just write some stuff. I love working from home. YouTube is a video, well, it's not a video game. It's a video platform that allows content creators to share their work with billions of people around the world. So here's a few sentences. So I just wanted to go ahead and put a few things in here because we're going to start with some very basic stuff. If, of course, you wanted to change your font, obviously you could go up here. I say obviously, I probably shouldn't because some people may not know. If you see a cloud next to something, these are fonts that you could download, but it will still show you a preview. Heading would be what it's going to look like over here because I already have a theme applied. The body is here. Okay.
Please.
So you have all the fonts here. Font size is going to change the size of your font.
I like the color.
This changes the color, so you could choose a color. Theme colors has to do with the theme that's already applied to the page, and then of course you could highlight if you wanted to. Of course, we're not actually going to highlight right now. This kind of just, if you were doing something fancy, you could give it a backdrop. You could do something fancy with all of your stuff, okay? But we're not doing anything fancy right now. Calibri right now with Word is considered the default. If you're moving this over to Google Docs, and I'll do another series on Google Doc, a lot of my clients in Google Doc do not prefer Calibri. They have a totally different font that they want. They either wanted an Arial or Montserrat. So I will show you that later. So now, the other thing with fonts, this is aligned left. We could center it. We could align it to the right. Or we could justify. Or you could distribute justify, which is going to totally make it even. Okay? So now you have your line and paragraph spacing, which as you can see, changes your spacing options. Alright? Now, if you click here, it's your paragraph settings. It's important to know where this is because sometimes you'll notice, like if your client, depending on the project, you may have some clients like, I really need this all on one page. So you may need to change this after spacing. Watch right here, okay, underneath where my text is. Do you see how it's moving? You may need to change your after spacing, all right? So, your line and page breaks are here. Widow and orphan control have to do with the top and bottom lines on the page. So this is something else you would check if, is he pulling your cord, son? This would also help you wear everything together, especially for the reader. Keep with next, keep lines together. All of this would help you keep your lines, and it helps with readability. So, we're not really going to mess with any of this, but it's just going to help you understand different options that you have. So, let's say instead you were creating a list. Facebook is to find friends and family to stay in touch. Upwork is to find work around the world. Twitter helps you share news. So you could highlight this because you already have a list. Here are your bullet points. You could choose the type of bullet that you want. Let's say I had more bullets, I could just hit enter and keep typing, right? Okay, well, let's say I'm done making them. I can just do that, or, that. And if I think I've forgotten one, I can go back up and hit enter again. But if I decide I want this to be a numbered list instead, I could just do that. I could switch to numbers if I wanted. I could switch to an outline list. And right here allows you to mess with the increases, your indents. So just a couple of quick little things that you can do with Word. And in the next video, we'll talk a little bit about how to create references.